He's been on the job for months, but officially sworn in just weeks ago. Seattle Police Chief Shon sitting down with me. We talked about various topics, including recruitment to changes he's made so far. Here's a portion of our interview. Chief Barnes, thank you so much for making the time today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I was looking forward to it.
You've been on the job about 8 months now. What is the most significant change that you have implemented within the department that you think is going to make a significant difference? So what is that policy and why do you think it would make a difference?
I think the most significant change that I've made is empowering our precinct captains to use more of the entire police department and giving them access to other parts of the city in order to solve problems of crime and disorder. I want to create a system where our precinct captains who bear the brunt of community complaints and concerns, who see them every single day, have the tools that they need in order to go out and solve some of the most pressing issues that are facing them. They're the initial point of contact, and I want to empower them so they can get the work done that we're asking of them.
How have you empowered them? What concrete things have you said to them that makes them feel empowered to do that?
Sure. The first thing that we've done, or one of the most important things, is that in our annual account or monthly accountability meetings, the captains now run those meetings. Before I arrived, it was the analysts, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've seen that model before, but creating more of an ownership where the precinct captains are the ones who are standing up at the podium talking about what they're seeing, and then everyone else is working as problem solvers.
Biggest concerns for you as a chief that SPD is facing right now?
Biggest concern, obviously, is recruitment and retention, or retention and recruitment. Those are two things that are really on my mind when I wake up, and when I go to bed, they're on my mind. I want to make sure that people who work here know that this department is a department in a city that supports their work when done correctly.
This year, you guys have recruited 100 people, is that right?
We have passed the 100 mark before we got to half of the year. I think the last number that I saw was about 107, but of course they're in various stages of becoming a police officer.
It's a high-level job, high-stress job. One thing that I'm hearing from several sources within SPD is that they believe that the standards have somewhat been dumbed down a little bit in order to recruit these people. If that's true, then you are left with people who may not be the best candidates for SPD. What is your response to that?
My response to that is those sources are incorrect. They're wrong. We are attracting a very high caliber of people with over 4,000 applications, and we take 100 people. What does that tell you about the number or quality of people that we're taking? If we were lowering our standards, if we were taking people who were not qualified, I would be sitting here now telling you that we have 400 people, but we don't do that.
So in your ideal world, what does the staffing look like?
Everyone, I've been asked this question for probably the last 5 years of being a police chief. My answer is always the same. I'm not going to turn down help and good qualified people. There is no magic number. If I say 2,000, then I should say 2,500. There's no magic number. Some people use population, some people use workflow or work scope, but what I will say is we need as many qualified police officers as the city will allow us to have.
I know you don't want to pinpoint a number, but it's important. 1.3 officers per 1,000 people. What's a sustainable number? What's the minimum?
Yeah,
850 doesn't seem like enough.
That metric is not the best metric to choose
So
from.
what is the best metric?
The best metric that I've seen is workload. How many officers do you need so that when an officer comes to work, 20 minutes of their time is spent answering calls for service, 20 minutes of every hour is spent doing community engagement, and 20 minutes is spent on the administrative, given what's called a shift relief factor. There's a lot of science that goes into it. That is one metric. There's nothing wrong with that. And trust me, I would love to have as many police officers as I could possibly get. But we're still doing the data and the science now, and I'll be able to give you a more definitive answer when that comes.
Right. Some of the numbers thrown out, and this hasn't been thrown out by you, but in the past, some numbers have been to 1,200 to 1,300. Is that something?
I think it's more than that.
More than that?
I think it's more than that. I really do. This city requires a level of public safety and policing that, quite frankly, we would be better served with more than that.
All right, so he's got a tough job for sure. Tomorrow, David, I will share more of our interview. That's when you'll hear from the chief's take on officers' morale to some new strategies he's taking in these chronic hotspot crime areas like Aurora Avenue and the Chinatown International District.
What I'm hearing is the changes he's made are well received so far, and I've starting to see a more positive shift within those who work at SPD. So let's hope it keeps up and that they can get to every call for service, particularly the property crimes, which have been somewhat neglected because they just don't have enough people to respond. They have to focus on the violent crimes.
Yeah, it goes back to that recruitment numbers.
Yep, for sure.